Hello everyone and welcome to another movie classroom. For every movie has a lesson. My name is Don Shanahan and I'm the guy who writes these reviews for this website. I'm an educator who thinks of these movies with life lessons in mind because in my opinion, like the title says, every movie can teach a lesson. This time on Movie Classroom we have the latest from Woody Allen. Okie dokie. For those folks who haven't seen a good romantic comedy this summer, and believe me, I don't think there has been a good one, I give you Magic in the Moonlight. Magic in the Moonlight is the new film from Woody Allen. As usual, he assembles quite a fun little cast. Colin Firth and Emma Stone are the stars here. It's set in the 1920s in the south of France, in the Riviera and the Côte d'Azur. And it's about a romantic comedy. The premise kind of sticks to the idea that Colin Firth is a kind of a vaudeville magician. He dresses up as kind of a Chinese character, and he's very popular, but he's a very self-centered, logic-thinking, science kind of guy, kind of a jerk. And a buddy of his has discovered this American girl who's posing as a psychic and spiritual medium who's swindling families in the French Riviera. So the conceited and selfish guy that Colin Firth is thinks he can kind of debunk and catch this girl in the act in terms of being a fake for what she is. By meeting her, kind of, I can't say sparks fly, but it kind of turns into the idea of a romantic comedy where can Emma Stone really kind of convince the unconvincible that what she really is could be true, and it changes kind of the way of thinking where Colin Firth is coming from. It's a very fun, very Woody Allen-esque romantic comedy. It has a lot of good light humor to it. Beautiful location in the south of France, which adds a lot to it. Fun characters, good back and forth dialogue. As usual, he is very dialogue driven. This, for me, I know it's kind of Woody Allen's a prolific filmmaker. He makes about a film every year. This is easily his best since Midnight in Paris. Very well written, a lot of fun. Nothing groundbreakingly amazing, but if you're looking for just a good, pleasant movie to see this summer, something that is a little different than the big blockbusters that are coming through, I think you got a winner here. I give this film 4 out of 5. And as usual, let's get to the lessons, because that's what we're here for. Alright, lesson number 1 is a long one, so bear with me while I write here. I'm almost positive I'm going to have bad handwriting, and I'm almost positive I'm going to screw it up, but let's see what we can do on a single take here. Lesson number 1 is the clash when logic and rationality meet the spiritual and metaphysical. What this represents here for Lesson 1 is the two schools of thought in terms of where these two characters are coming from. Colin Firth, as a very cynical, selfish, self-absorbed showman, considers his magic to be a piece to kind of prove where science is and where science is not. So he represents the side of logic. He represents the place where all of the stuff he does is trickery. It can be proven, can be disproven, and all those different things. But if Emma Stone if her character is who she says she is, and she can communicate with the dead and see things about people and kind of have those psychic abilities, well, that would go against all the things that Colin Firth's character believes and knows is rational, logical, and true. It would mean that there is kind of, an afterlife or something more than just what we see before us, because Colin Firth's character is a very what you see is what you get. So we have this. And it kind of creates the tension between these two. We have this clash between a guy who's very logical and rational, and they meet somebody who comes from a spiritual and metaphysical kind of background, and where these beliefs go. The people around them that interact with these characters are either siding with one of these two sides. So it's interesting to see how that all mixes and how that all comes to play out it's sometimes very thought-provoking ways, and sometimes, and more often than not, I should say, more comedic ways. Lesson number 2 kind of spins a little further here with this idea of logic and more soulful kinds of things. So lesson number 2 is, and it's a little bit long, not as long as the first, when the soul of one's heart. Let me erase and get a little better penmanship on that one here. Bear with me, folks. When the soul of one's heart counters the logic of one's brain. I think this kind of speaks to, the lesson here is that slowly but surely this becomes not just a comedy but a romantic comedy. So the debate set up by lesson 1 is where the idea that there's different things that change and come about, and the convincing that's going on about where, how do you explain love then? You know, where is the science of where love in your heart and your soul kind of comes from? Is it just pheromones and chemical reactions? Is kind of where we think of it now, but where does it play out in terms of these characters in the 1920s? And the science, of course, isn't quite where it is now, but the idea that you know, your brain only goes so far, and then we think, or at least we like to believe, that our heart kind of takes over. So when our consciousness and our soul and our heart kind of counters what we think is logical, kind of goes to the stupid things we do for love kind of mentality, is where lesson 2 is coming from. A lot of that gets played out here in Magic in the Moonlight. And lesson number 3 kind of seals the whole thing here. Lesson number 3 is pretty much where this is going, and that is love is not rational. There are lots of things that we can try to study, put statistics to, try to measure, you know, put science to, put details to, and explain. And I think of all the pieces of our humanity, I think we all see it, that love is not something we can explain. There's not a brain-based way of where that goes. People will try, people will say, but we kind of go back to that idea of our soul, of our gut talking, and that when love happens, we do irrational things, we do stupid things, we let things go by, we accept quirks and things of other people, we kind of put our guard down. All those different things that shouldn't be logical, shouldn't be rational, happen because of love and because our heart steers us in that direction. So that's kind of where it's a simple thing, but that's definitely what seals the deal with Magic in the Moonlight. Once again, the film is a very fun romantic comedy, very much worth your time. If you like Woody Allen, it's right up your alley. Great performances from Colin Firth and Emma Stone. In my opinion, I write in my review, Woody Allen is one of those guys that elevates the performer in front of him. He can take a good actor and make him great. He can take a great actor and make him even better, and I think that's what we have on display here. This is one of the better parts I've ever seen Emma Stone play. Again, nothing earth-shattering, but a lot of fun. Colin Firth is always amazing. When I reviewed The Railway Man earlier in the year, I called him the second best British actor working today behind Daniel Day-Lewis. This is a nice thing to see him do. You know, normally he's a man of few words, a very stoic, stern presence. To see him be the mouthy guy here is a lot of fun. To see him kind of really stretch his wings and express himself. Like I said, I think you've got a fun movie here. So, to close up shop one more time, I write for www.everymovie.hasalesson.com. You can find all my reviews, then more of a long form here. Thank you very much for taking on this movie classroom, finding it via ShowMe or via YouTube. I'm starting to put these up on Vimeo, so I appreciate all the people who come by. That's been my take on Magic in the Moonlight. I'll come back a little bit later and get you a little bit of Boyhood, and maybe even a little bit of Happy Christmas. Thank you very much. See you next time.